Hello, today I'll read Judge in the book of Judge, the chapter 7. In the chapter 2 days ago, I was reading two chapters, chapter 6, and I continued with the chapter 5, and I continued with the chapter 6. I thought it's the same, and I still continue, but now. I remained at Gideon. God called Gideon, and after that God put him to work at first to destroy the altar of Baal from his household, from his father's household, and he did it. He put somehow his respect and his life at risk by doing that, because the people from house, they found out who destroyed the altar, who demolished the altar, and they wanted to kill him. But his father came and of course he loved him more, and he told them, are you going to plead Baal's cause? His father was the leader of his household. Josh was his name, and he told them, are you going to plead Baal's cause? Are you trying to save him? Whoever fights for him shall be put to death by morning. If Baal really is a god, he can defend himself when someone breaks down his altar. Wow. He woke up somehow. From that action that Gideon did, he woke up the faith from his father, the faith to God or something like that. And he realized that Baal is not a god. But why he was in his household? Why he built an altar to that? Somehow he woke up and became a Christian. And when God is calling you or something like that, at first he's looking at you, at your house, and he's saying, if you have something to correct or to do something, he will put you to do that at first. When I was looking for God, and I was trying to get out from from the house, and running away by walking, not running really, and God saw something, that something was not okay. My father and my mother and my family cried. My mother maybe, or they were not, not feeling okay. And if God wants to work with someone, at first he work in his family, in his life too, in his life at first, and just, or if you must do something, he will put you to make it right. The relationship with your parents and so on. Now let's and after that, the Spirit of God came into Gideon, into him, and he called the Israelites to a war against the Midianites, against the enemies. And they responded, we will see in the next chapter how much, how many. But still Gideon was a bit afraid. I mean, I'm going to war. God, are you with me? If I will defeat all of them, please give me a sign. Give me this sign with a wool. And after that, another sign with a wool. And yeah, like sometimes God is accepting those things too. To be encouraged, or to encourage you, and to show you that He is with you. Now let's read chapter 7. Early in the morning, Jerubbaal, that is Gideon. Yeah, the other people called him like that because they said, let Baal contend with him, because he broke down Baal's altar. And all his men camped at the spring of Harod. The camp of Midian was north of them in the valley near the hill of Moreh. The Lord said to Gideon, you have too many men for me to deliver Midian into their hands, in order that Israel may not boast against me that her own strength has saved her. Announce now to the people, anyone who trembles with fear may turn back and leave Mount Gilead. Wow, to say that in a war, we will start a war and everyone are a bit afraid. We are going to war. And they are not just our enemies, they are our oppressors. They are stronger than us maybe. So 22,000 men left. Whoa. While 10,000 remained. Just the third part. Just 30% remained. 60% were afraid. But still 10,000 men, they still remained. 30 and 33 and 333, something like that. A third part of them remained. Yeah, no, maybe 30 because it's 22. There was 32,000, not just 30,000. Yeah. But the Lord said to Gideon, there are still too many men. Take them down to the water, and I will sift them for you there. Wow. If I say, this one shall go with you, he shall go. But if I say, this one shall not go with you, he shall not go. Wow. So Gideon took the man down to the water. There the Lord told him, separate those who lap the water with their tongues like a dog. Very weird way to drink water. From those who kneel down to drink. 300 men lapped with their hands to their mouths. All the rest got down on their knees to drink. Now, Gideon, do you still have faith in me? There are not 32,000 men with you. There are just 10,000 men with you. But now there are not 10,000 men with you, there are just 300 men with you. The Lord said to Gideon, with the 300 men that left, I mean, I think they did something like that, and they lapped with their hands to by doing that, I mean, your water is not falling from your hands. I am not, I am drinking water, I mean, I store the water like a soup or like a tea, I mean, maybe with a teeth on like that, to not swallow some leaves or some insects if the at the water there are something like that over, I mean, to a river or something. Yeah, I did that sometimes. Separate those who lap the water with their tongues like a dog from those who kneel down to drink. The 300 men lapped with their hands to their mouths. All the rest got down on their knees to drink. The Lord said to Gideon, with the 300 men that left I will save you and give the Midianites into your hands. Let all the other men go, each to his own place. So Gideon sent the rest of the Israelites to their tents, but kept the 300 men, but kept 300 who took over the provisions and trumpets of the others. Wow, provisions. Of the 10,000, they have lots of provisions, or maybe, yeah, maybe 10,000, or maybe 32,000. They left, maybe they still left something behind. I mean, behind some provisions, or maybe they didn't. But from those 10,000, it says that they left. Now the camp of Midian lay below him in the valley. During that night the Lord said to Gideon, get up, go down against the camp, because I am going to give it into your hands. If you are afraid to attack, go down to the camp with your servant Purah, and listen to what they are saying. Afterward, you will be encouraged to attack the camp. Oh, so he had a servant, Purah, maybe before calling the army, and maybe he was helping him, I mean, almost for sure, to destroy the Baal altar, and yeah. Afterward, you will be encouraged to attack the camp. So he and Purah, his servant, went down to the outposts of the camp. I still don't remember who told the others that Gideon destroyed the altar of Baal. Maybe not Purah, but maybe some of the servants which had him to destroy the altar, or maybe someone saw that. I don't know. He went down to the outposts of the camp. The Midianites, the Amalekites, and all the other eastern peoples had settled in the valley thick as locusts. Their camels could not more be counted than the sand on the seashore. Gideon arrived just as a man was telling a friend his dream. I had a dream, he was saying. A round loaf of barley bread came tumbling into the Midianite camp. It struck the tent with such force that the tent overturned and collapsed. His friend responded, this can be nothing other than the sword of Gideon, son of Joash, the Israelite. God has given the Midianites and the whole camp into his hands. When Gideon heard the dream and its interpretation. He worshipped God. Wow. He saw, to go like a spy to hear what the enemies are saying to you, and to see that they have such a big image on you. Like those two spies who went to Jericho, and they went to Rahab, and they heard her what image she had on the Israelites, and that encouraged them. Yeah, Gideon was still afraid. He had that fear. He had maybe courage, but still a fear too. When God told him to destroy the altar of Baal, he destroyed it at night. When God told him to go, even at night, in the camp of the Midianites and Amalekites, he went with, and God was telling him, if you are afraid, go with Purah, your servant, and with your servant Purah. And he went with Purah. He was a bit afraid, and it's something normal. I mean, yeah, it's something to be afraid. But he still had that. He really needed that. Those signs to help him. I mean, signs with the wool, and to see for sure that God is with him. And now this encouraged him way more than that. He needed to be encouraged by God. He needed to be sure that God is with him. He needed to be sure that, and to have that, and God helped him. God helped him to, maybe you are afraid or something, or you have emotion. It's normal to have emotion, but you must do it. If God is saying, you have the power to do it. And God, if God is saying something, God for sure is with you. If He calls you, if He sent you to do something, be sure that He gave you all the power to do that, or more than that, or God will be with you, will come with you. You're not alone. You will be not alone. Have I not sent you, or something like that? In other text, God is saying that, or something like that. Okay. His friend responded, "This can be nothing other than the sword of Gideon, son of Joash, the Israelite. God has given the Midianites and the whole camp into his hands." When Gideon had heard the dream and its interpretation, he worshipped God. He returned to the camp of Israel and called out, "Get up! The Lord has given the Midianite camp into your hands." Dividing the 300 men into 3 companies, he placed trumpets and empty jars in the hands of all of them, with torches inside. "Watch me," he told them. "Follow my lead. When I get to the edge of the camp, do exactly as I do. When I and all who are with me blow our trumpets, then from all around the camp blow yours and shout for the Lord, and for Gideon." I think for sure Spirit of God came into him again. Gideon and the 100 men with him reached the edge of the camp at the beginning of the middle watch, just after they had changed the guard. They blew their trumpets and broke the jars that were in their hands. The 3 companies blew the trumpets and smashed the jars. Grasping the torches in their left hands and holding in their right hands the trumpets they were to blow, they shouted, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." A sword for the Lord and for Gideon. It's very nice, that very cool, very. We must not forget that first was the Lord, a sword for the Lord, and second was the Gideon, and for Gideon. We must put at first place God, and He will help us. While each man held his position around the camp, other Midianites ran, crying out as they fled. They didn't know how many they are. I mean, they were surrounded by. They didn't know how many they are. They were surrounded by sounds and trumpets and fire and whoa. When the 300 trumpets sounded, the Lord caused the men throughout the camp to turn on each other with their swords. Whoa. Like a suicide, or they didn't know that they are the man in front of him was from his team. It was night. Maybe like a suicide. I don't know. It sounds more like a suicide. The army fled to Bethshita toward Zerah, as far as the border of Abel Meholah, near Tabath. Israelites from Naphtali, Asher, and Al Manasseh were called out, and they pursued the Midianites. So the forces of Israel came after that too, and they were not just those 300. They just started the war, but after that, Gideon sent messengers throughout the hill country of Ephraim, saying, "Come down against the Midianites and seize the waters of the Jordan ahead of them as far as Bet-barah." So all the men of Ephraim were called out, and they took the waters of the Jordan as far as Bet-barah. They also captured two of the Midianite leaders, Oreb and Zeb. They killed Oreb at the rock of Oreb, and Zeb at the winepress of Zeb. They pursued the Midianites and brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon, who was by the Jordan. Wow. What was the way of success? It was God. God was calling Gideon. God was trying to form him, to make him more courageous. He saw that he have the potential, but he's afraid. Yeah, he helped his house too. I mean, his father's house to his father Joash to turn to God again, and to wake up all his family. All his household, and even saying, "Whoever fights for him," for Baal, "shall be put to death by morning." If Baal really is a god, he can defend himself when someone breaks down his altar. Yeah, that image, he was like, I like it maybe more than even the part with the war. Yeah, it was very well, but a person who turns to God again, and who wakes up and do the right thing, that is very beautiful to see. Yeah, that was the chapter. May the God bless me, protect me, and delight me in the next chapter too. And if he wants, you will see me there too. God bless you all and goodbye.